Welcome to this explainer on the Enjoying Life After Retirement, or ELAR, exercise framework. I will be your physical activity consultant today as we walk through this science-grounded approach. Our focus is specifically designed for adults age 65 and older, looking at how to safely preserve functional capacity, metabolic health, and cognitive resilience. Here is our roadmap. We will start with the purpose and physiological foundations, move into cardiometabolic health effects, and then detail the exact exercise prescription. After that, we will cover technology and environmental stressors, go over safety and a weekly template, and wrap up with key principles for aging. Let us begin with Section 1, Purpose and Physiological Foundations. A central challenge we address in this framework is sarcopenia. This is a condition defined primarily by reduced muscle strength alongside low muscle mass and impaired physical performance. The clinical evidence points us directly to resistance training as the first-line intervention. By implementing a resistance program, we can increase muscle mass and strength, improve insulin sensitivity, and substantially reduce the risk of falls and fractures. When we look at basal metabolic rate, or BMR, which is your total energy expenditure at rest, we need to frame it carefully. It serves primarily as a marker of preserved lean body mass rather than an independent therapeutic target. While a low resting energy expenditure can indicate frailty or reduced lean mass, there is no diagnostic threshold for BMR. So our strategy remains focused on preserving the actual muscle mass, which in turn influences that metabolic rate. Regular physical activity is also tied to distinct neurological outcomes. Exercise increases brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, and improves hippocampal function. Aerobic exercise specifically supports memory and executive function, while resistance training adds a layer of support for overall functional independence. It is important to note that these are clinical associations, meaning they support brain health but do not guarantee the prevention of neurodegenerative diseases. Moving on to Section 2, Cardiometabolic Health Effects. Examining how physical activity influences specific cardiometabolic markers reveals some clear distinctions. Regular exercise does enhance endothelial function by increasing nitric oxide availability and lowering blood pressure. However, it only yields modest improvements in low-density lipoprotein cholesterol, or LDL-C, and apolipoprotein B, or ApoB. For managing those specific lipid markers, diet, genetics, and pharmacotherapy will always be the primary drivers. When assessing body composition and metabolic health, a very common question comes up regarding fat loss. How exactly are stored triglycerides oxidized and ultimately expelled as carbon dioxide and water? You might have heard that we breathe out fat. While it is true that carbon dioxide exhalation reflects fat oxidation, the underlying mechanism is what matters. An energy deficit, where your energy expenditure exceeds your intake, is the absolute determining factor for fat loss. Breathing is merely the mechanism of expulsion, not the driver of the metabolic process itself. Let us transition into Section 3, the exercise prescription. Our evidence-based approach requires clear dosages across 3 different modalities. For aerobic activity, we recommend 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity per week, which helps improve your maximum rate of oxygen consumption, often called VO₂max. For daily movement, the target is 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day. And for resistance training, we aim for 2 to 3 sessions per week using multi-joint exercises at a moderate to high intensity. To complement that structured training, functional and balance exercises are essential additions. This includes activities like single-leg stances, core stability work, and gait training. We incorporate these specific components to directly prevent falls and preserve your physical independence as you age. That brings us to Section 4, Technology and Environmental Stressors. Consumer wearables can offer very useful behavioral feedback and help with adherence by tracking your basic activity and estimating your heart rate. But we need to be clear about their limitations. Their accuracy varies quite a bit depending on the device and the context, so they should be viewed strictly as supplementary behavioral tools, and certainly not as medical diagnostic instruments. Looking at environmental stressors, observational evidence points to sauna use being associated with reduced cardiovascular mortality and improved vascular function. On the other hand, while cold exposure might activate brown adipose tissue, the clinical evidence supporting any significant metabolic benefits from cold therapy remains quite limited at this time. Next is Section 5, Safety and Weekly Template. Safety requires a systematic progression. Step 1 is a thorough assessment of your cardiovascular risk and any musculoskeletal limitations. Step 2 mandates considering medical clearance, which is especially important for sedentary individuals or anyone managing a chronic disease. Step 3 is the implementation phase, emphasizing that all progress must be gradual and strictly individualized to your current capacity. Translating all of this into a practical weekly template, the framework generally integrates 4 to 5 days of moderate aerobic work, like a brisk walk or a swim, lasting 30 to 45 minutes. You combine that with 2 to 3 dedicated days of full-body resistance training, along with your constant daily movement and balance work. This creates a balanced, sustainable routine.
Finally, we reach Section 6, Key Principles for Aging.
To summarize our core philosophy, muscle mass and strength are central determinants of healthy aging. The benefits of exercise span both physical and cognitive outcomes, and they are dose-dependent while remaining highly individualized. Most importantly, while these lifestyle interventions are highly effective and form the foundation of your health, they do not replace necessary medical care.
The physiological mechanisms of aging are clearly documented, and the science gives us a solid path forward. Knowing the profound connection between physical capacity and cognitive resilience, how will you structure your energy balance and daily movement to actively redefine your personal trajectory of aging?